So I'm going to start by giving 3 different examples of why it's worth taking the time to consider the correct donation technology for each fundraising campaign that you run. So the first example is a tweet that I recently picked up from Ross McCulloch from ThirdSector Lab, which blew my mind a little bit. So if Amazon's front page loaded 1 second more slowly, they would lose $1.6 billion in annual sales. Now, Amazon's clearly a juggernaut and processes billions in sales each year. However, here we can see how a tiny, almost unnoticeable difference in customer experience could have such a huge impact on the company's revenues. Secondly, we have a current example from the charity sector. So this is an article from ThirdSector, which talks about how people are carrying far less cash than we used to see pre-pandemic. Even if people have cash, they're now leaving it at home as they don't feel the need to walk around with it rattling around in their pockets. And this means that a lot of the classic fundraising techniques, street collections, things on shop counters, things like that, need to adapt and embrace technology to meet the needs of supporters. But whilst we need to embrace technology, we also need to be considerate about using the right technology in the right place. QR codes, for example, are great pieces of technology, but there are places where they simply don't work, like the example on the screen of on the back of a lorry. Or I recently heard the example of a charity adding a QR code into an email. So if I had received that email on my phone, I would have had to have borrowed a second phone to scan my phone to get through to the webpage that the charity wanted to get me to, which isn't ideal. Sometimes using a link is just easier. So when deciding on the appropriate technology for small donations, there are some key considerations. Convenience is even more important than usual for small donations. Whilst the supporter may be willing to take a little bit longer over a larger donation, a supporter making a small donation wants to make it as quickly as possible and doesn't want to be held up by having to give loads and loads of information. And as we've heard already, people aren't carrying cash, so it needs to be a cash-free option too. So many charities use text giving on our platform for this purpose. It's a very simple method to make a small donation. A supporter only has to send a text message, which makes it really quick, easy, and really importantly at the minute to truly contact us.
So we kept the appeal concept really concise and clear. The messaging was to help our home, to help save the home and the animals and secure the future for the years ahead. So we contacted our existing supporters and also approached some non-existent supporters through direct mail, a cold door drop, the usual channels, the social media, email. We also got involved with some PR and advertising through Edinburgh Trams, and we did radio advertising as well. So on each of the platforms, we made sure that text to donate was on everything. We wanted to make it as simple for everyone as possible to donate and as easy as we could for them should they wish to donate. So we thought that was really important for the campaign. So it was less important to get everyone's details and be gifted and everything obviously as possible through the text to donate. So we did put text to donate on everything, posters, the donation forms on our website and print as well. We're really pleased overall with the campaign. We'd hoped to raise about £55,000 through the campaign. So overall, we're delighted that we raised in excess of £175,000 over a short 5-week period. So part of that did include our text to donate. So we raised over £5,000 through text, and that was through one-off donations. But we also were delighted because we used the text response to recruit new regular donors as well. And we had over 30 new regular donors just solely from the save code that we used for the platform.
So the next scenario is a charity looking to maximise fundraising from an event like a ball or a dinner. So considerations here are that the supporter may already have paid for a ticket to the event, so they may already feel like they've done their bit. Perhaps making them feel like they're going to get something in exchange for an additional donation will encourage further support. Also, any supporters may not be carrying cash, or if the event is virtual, having cash isn't particularly helpful. So one of our new fundraising solutions, Text Raffles, allows charities to quickly and easily create a free draw via text message. It's simple to organise, gives supporters an incentive to support your cause, and you can also follow up via text journeys. For example, if you're organising the same event next year.
It's really COVID safe as well, so it's really good at the moment. We also had a physical event called the Overland event that we were the charity partner of for the year. We usually do a raffle at that event. There's usually a raffle at that event. But again, they couldn't do the raffle this year because it was deemed unsafe COVID-wise to be writing out on tickets, giving people the tickets. They were trying to limit any form of contact between participants of this event because they managed to have a physical event take place. So they said you can have the Charity of the Year partnership, guys. You can't have buckets. You can't run a raffle. And I was like, God, how can I raise any money at this event then? So we put on a completely COVID-proof charity raffle at the event using donors' text to donate things. So all I did, went to the event, stuck up a load of posters everywhere, got on stage, read out the number and all that kind of stuff. And we raised, I think, probably like £500 or £600. Which was a big win for us because it was a much smaller event than it usually would be. It had the capacity to make no money at all, but because we could kind of run this COVID-free raffle, COVID-safe raffle, then we could still raise some money. So yeah, I'd recommend it. I think it's a brilliant tool. You can bring it into your virtual events, you can bring it into your physical events, and it's just another way to raise a bit more money as you go. So.